Our heroes have arrived. Woo! Welcome to the Mansfield room. What an honor to be here. Brad Woodhouse told me I should start with a joke. So here's the joke.
Don't blame me.
Just like 41 Republican senators walk into a bar and close it down. No more. No more. Because of these men and women, no more. If you listen very carefully, you can hear the sound of gridlock breaking and progress coming because of what these men and women did today on the floor of the United States Senate. They made history for us and for the American people. This is a very big day. So it is a great day for democracy and a terrible day for gridlock. And I know which side I'm on. That's right. So as we meet here under the gaze of Leader Mansfield, I can't help but thinking how proud he would be, and the other great leaders of this institution of the United States Senate, Mansfield, Johnson, Mitchell, the people who we see and revere, buildings named after them. And I can tell you, when our grandchildren take this place over and they look back, they will honor the leader who brought democracy back to the Senate, Harry Reid. Hey. With that, I want to ask my friend Brad Woodhouse from Americans United for Change to introduce our hero. But first, Brad Woodhouse.
Not your hero. Thanks, Paul. Hey, look, I can't say it any better than Paul did. This is a great day for democracy. Yes, it's a great day for democracy, and so many people in this room have fought for it. The coalition of people, the groups that have been involved in this. You know, Republicans never thought that it was going to come to this. They thought that they could filibuster at will and that Democrats wouldn't respond. Today, they met the Reid Rule. Ladies and gentlemen, your majority leader, U.S. Senator Harry Reid.
Paul, Brad, thank you very much. The vote's over, and you'll see the number there, 52. I have a lot of people to thank, but getting there was not as easy as some might think. And I'm so happy that Senator Schumer came today. Senator Murray and Durbin, Schumer and I did a little event earlier today where we said what we felt about this. I'm happy to see people happy. And again, Senator Schumer, thank you very much for Senator Durbin and Murray have always been there, but you know, I want to thank everyone in this room. People in this room are the same ones who joined with me and Speaker Pelosi in saying we're not going to let Obama privatize Social Security, and we did it. There are a lot of people who've done a lot to get us to where we are, and I'm going to only mention one person. But one reason we're where we are is because of the women of America, and I'm so happy to see you, Ellie, here, Ellie Schmiel. We have here the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus, Congresswoman Fudge, and some of her partners who are members of that caucus. I talked about on the floor, and I've talked several times. Can you imagine? Things got so out of hand here that for the first time since 1843, they even turned down one of their own. That's right. But that's going to be turned around, isn't it?
That's right.
We're going to hear speeches from only 3 people. And I already thank Brad, and I thank you, Paul. You know, I know one senator now is in trouble for plagiarizing. Listen, I plagiarize Bagala all the time. And I'm going to use the bar joke, but I think I may say 41 Republican senators walk into a restaurant and they close it down. So, one person that has always been a leader of progressive causes since we served together for a while in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. And this man is so unafraid. He's the senior senator, almost, from the state of Iowa, my friend Tom Harkin. Yeah.
Give him hell, Harkin.
Well, yeah, I always do. I always do. Well, there's the man of steel, Superman. Then there's the man with the steel spine, Harry Reid. And we just thank you so much, Senator Reid, for finally leading the United States Senate into the 21st century. That's right. Long overdue. Now, I kind of hate to say this. I've been on this thing for a long time on filibuster reform and stuff. I couldn't get anything done. And then Udall and Merkley show up. And they get it done. Udall and Merkley. It's just been great to see them, and as I leave the Senate knowing that they're going to be here, it does my heart good. It does my heart good. Well, the Senate, for all its traditions and institutions, is a body that must adjust and respond to the times in which it finds itself. It has. We've adjusted, we've revised, we've reformed our rules numerous times over the history of our republic so we can function better and respond to the challenges of the day. And filibuster reform stands squarely within a tradition of updating Senate rules as appropriate to ensure that we have a smoothly operating government. Since 1917, the Senate's passed 4 reforms on filibuster, most recent in 1975, ending the filibuster. Now, today's actions are consistent with this tradition. Now, again, I just want to respond to what the Republican leader said this morning. He said something about we're breaking the rules to have a new rule. We broke no rules today. These were the rules of the Senate. The rules are very clear. That is a non-debatable motion to overturn the ruling of the chair, and it takes 51 votes, and that's exactly what we did today. So this marks just about 2 decades that I've sort of been on this issue, and during that time we've seen this arms race where things have ratcheted up, where we can't function, leader. Yeah. Now, the other thing Senator McConnell said this morning, I thought about, he said, the Democrats started this. Well, you know, I'm not certain that's right or not. I don't know. But it almost sounds like that old argument in a schoolyard fight between a couple of adolescents. He started, he hit me first. No, he hit me first. No, he hit me first. It's not important who started it. What's important is to stop it. That's right. And to stop what's been going on. So sort of what started out as a punch here and a punch there ended up into almost extreme fighting. So it is incumbent on us that we stop it, and we did today. We did today. Now, from now on, just think about this. A president, any president, Republican or Democrat, can put together the executive branch of government. That's right. Can put together that executive branch. And from now on, all judges, but for the Supreme Court, all judges, circuit judges, all those district courts, and sometimes, you know, those circuit court judges are every bit as important as those Supreme Court judges. From now on, no longer can they be filibustered, stopped by a small minority. 51 votes will get a judge on the bench after this. So again, I thank all of you too. There's been so many of you. I just said to Harry, I said, you know, Bob Edgar, God love him, was head of Common Cause, fought for this for years and years and years, just passed away, as you know, and so he's not here to see this. But he would be so happy, and I know he is happy to see what we have done here. But to our Congressional Black Caucus, to all the people out there that gathered signatures, has been on this for so long, you brought us through. There are some people who had to be convinced, and we don't need to go into that, but they are convinced. And again, I thank Leader Reid. You know, rounding up votes is a tough thing sometimes, and that's why I say Harry is someone I've always admired, because when he makes up his mind to do something, hell or high water is going to stop him from getting it done. And this man from Searchlight, Nevada. Thank you.
And Tom Harkin has been to my home in Searchlight. I'm there in my pajamas, and I get a call. What are you doing today, Harry? Not much. He said, you mind if I drop by to see you? I said, what are you talking about? And here he comes. From the time we had my little family, and as the kids grew up, I have 5 children, as you know, I had no inkling I would ever be in the Senate. But I had a rule. And that rule was that where are you going to sit in the car, you know, all these placements you have to worry about with kids, we handle everything on a seniority basis. And so today I'm handling this on a seniority basis. We're going to hear from my 2 senators who, as Senator Harkin mentioned, they brought this idea up, and in my heart I knew they were right, but I couldn't accept what they wanted. I worked against them. Because, yeah, that's a minor problem, didn't have the votes, but also I wanted to try to get along. So for 2 Congresses, I tried to get along. And sometimes even before the Congress was completed, we tried and tried and tried. But these 2 good men knew, they didn't walk into this blind. They knew everything about it. They knew everything about it. I have my staff put together a package for me a few days ago, said rebuttal, and virtually all the stuff in it came from the 2 of you. So I so admire Tom Udall, who's such a wonderful man. He has such great lineage, and I so admire Jeff Merkley, because Senator Schumer and I, we worked so hard to get both of them to run. But we got him to run, and it was the right thing to do. Tom Udall.
There come moments when you see that change has to take place. And it takes a lot of courage when you're the Senate Majority Leader, and Mike Mansfield knew this. You get at a point and you look ahead and you see the difficulties, and that's the one word that I would say for Harry Reid, is courage. courage to do what's right, courage to bring our democracy back to where it should be, and courage to change the way we do business. So thank you, Harry. Thank you, Harry. And the leadership team, Chuck, you and Patty and Dick Durbin, Harry, you did an event earlier. We couldn't have done it either without the leadership team. I mean, a really solid team that was always reaching out and testing back and forth. So we so much appreciate that. And you talk about, Harry, when Jeff Merkley and I got here, we're standing on the shoulders of this guy, Tom Harkin, who was the main charge that was thrown at us over and over again, Jeff, was that we didn't understand the minority. I served in the minority with a lot of these folks for 8 years in the House, but I hadn't been in the minority in the Senate. His proposal came forward when we were in the minority, and it spoke with a loud voice in terms of what we needed to do and how we needed to return to the Constitution. And so it has been terrific to have Tom Harkin to stand on his shoulders and to have Jeff Merkley at my side. Thank you both. I mean, this has been, as Jeff and Tom have known, this has been a national movement. When I first started this, people said, and Chuck, you know, they say, this is procedure. Don't talk about procedure. The public doesn't understand procedure. The public understands the filibuster now and has had enough of it and wants to move on to democracy. Move on to democracy. That's where we want to move on to. So my really final thank you is to the coalition, to the 30-plus groups who weighed in and organized and never gave up over the 4 years. Actually starting back with Senator Harkin, 20 years. And my predecessor, a guy named Clint Anderson, was doing this in the 40s. And one of the things he always pointed out to me, which we should remember as we go forward with and we think about filibusters on legislation, the two great accomplishments of the filibuster have been to prevent for 20 years in the 40s and 50s, a national anti-lynching law. Okay, believe it or not, I mean, it was still happening in the South, and the filibuster prevented us legislating on that. And the other thing was preventing civil rights. Right. For 20 years, preventing that. Those are the, so anyone who wants to stand with the filibuster, that's where you're standing. I'm not there. Thank you.
No, I was thinking back to when I came out here to talk to Leader Reid and to Chuck Schumer about running for office, and we talked about the pros and cons and possibilities of taking on an incumbent. And then at the end of the conversation, I said, there's just one policy issue I have to whisper in your ear about. And Harry said, what's that? And I said, we've got to do something about this filibuster. And I don't know, Harry, you went like this. You went. And Leader Reid proceeded to explain how the rules hadn't changed, how unfortunately the culture had changed, and we had to restore the culture, and kind of the fight for that point of up and down votes with rare exception. And my comment at the time was that people out in Oregon know that something is broken in the Senate, and they want it fixed. And that's what this entire movement has been about. It's about something's broken, and it needs to be fixed. And all of you have made that happen. Thank you so much. Tom Harkin said it made his heart warm that we would be around to continue this fight, the leadership team and those of us who've been in this, Tom Udall and I. Tom, it makes our hearts sad that you will not be here to continue the fight with us. This man has made such a difference for disabled Americans. He's made such a difference for those that Hubert Humphrey said are at the dawn of their life, those who are at the sunset of their life, those who live in the shadows. You have been a phenomenal force for good in this world. Thank you so much. And I'll tell you that when I came here in 2009, a thing that put a big smile on my face was a partnership with Tom Udall in this effort to recognize that the Senate can work better. We come from the West. We were campaigning together, going around the country at event after event. We heard people talking to us in state after state about the challenge that was before us. So thank you for bringing your observations over your lifetime about a Senate that used to work and could again in the future. That vision, well done. Let no one think our work is finished. What was accomplished today was tremendous. I am looking forward to Mel Watt being at the Federal Housing Finance. I am looking forward to President Obama having his fair opportunity to fill judicial vacancies so we do not have an ideological judiciary. And I am looking forward to the moment when we can have legislation come to the floor of the Senate, as it did in the 1970s, in the 1980s, and the 1990s, and have a fair chance of getting up and down vote to do right by working Americans, to be right for the economic power of this country. That is before us. Thank you all so much. I look forward to being in the fight with you.